here sharing some energy with me today. How are you guys doing? How are things? I am here and we are going to get started. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. Did I say that already? I think I did. Um, Today we're going to get right into the chat. No friends in the industry. Now, this is a song, the eponymous song, written by Drake, also named No Friends in the Industry, eponymous. So what we're gonna do is get into the breakdown of that. Now, as I was listening to it, yeah, looks like I don't have on clothes, but I do. They're just buried. So as I was listening to this, guys, one of the things that came up to me was that this is a very powerful lesson, especially for my empath collective. Mason, hi, so nice. You always are here, Mason. So nice to catch you again. So I wanted to talk about this. No friends in the industry. Drake recently wrote this and dropped it. And when I say recently, it's because he was having a beef with Kanye. And I love music, guys, and I thought, how can I translate this for us so that we can take our lessons from this and see what it is that we are supposed to take from it. So I thought about how, regarding our relationships, we will at times find ourselves wondering, about the truth of it, the efficacy, who is for us, who is not, all of that jazz. Sorry, because I'm having problems with my pillow here. There we go. It's driving me crazy. Who is for us, who is not? And I thought I just relate to Drake. When I've been in spiritual battle recently, Drake has been the thing that has absolutely kind of taken me through. And it's scorpionic energy. Hey, Jess. Hey. Oh, thank you, Jess. Well, I hope that this lesson is good. Let's see here. So, no friends in the industry. Here's what I want us to think about. Kanye and Drake fighting, and there was some betrayal that happened between them. Betrayal in the decks would be the Five of Swords, okay? Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. No friends in the industry. So I asked Angels, I said, okay, how does this relate to me? And they said, just go through the lyrics. So we're going to go through the lyrics, then we're going to pull a few cards, and that's why I said it's a tarot conversation. So let's see how this shows up. And I'm going to switch some words around because he says some words that I'm not going to say on here, but we're going to switch out haters, okay? Haters or fakers. He says, no friends in the industry. My brother's been my brother's man, you fakers. Ain't no kin to me, a fact. Now that means kin is a southern word for like family. You're my kindred spirit, you're my kindred folk, you're my kinfolk. Okay, so he's saying you fakers are not kin to me. That's a fact. Yeah, you heard about me, but you don't know me more than that. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. So here's the explanation. As empaths, we can sometimes be reclusive, and I feel like people hear about us, especially if you've ever been triangulated with a narcissistic empath dynamic, or they triangulated you with a karmic or their new supply. They have heard about you, but they don't know you more than that. They may stalk you because that's usually what happens, is they want to figure out who you are and how to like try to copy and paste your essence and everything. So they may stalk you, they may pay a lot of attention and do things like that, but they don't really know you, and they only know what this person's told you about them. So I thought that was interesting. No friends in the industry. My brother's been my brother's man. You haters aren't any kin to me, a fact. And he says, I was known for snapping when I chat before the app. A little play on words about Snapchat. Snapping means going off, meaning telling truths and whatever. Stood on everything I said and never took it back. No friends in the industry. I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies. A fact. Haters love to start the beef but don't want to keep it wrapped. Yeah, you hit us up, and now we owe you something back. Angels and ancestors are the ones who do the payback here. Now, Drake and Kanye beef in their own right. But when they says, yeah, you hit us up would be essentially like a drive-by or a hit, and that means dissing in the rap industry. For us, the hit up would be the smear campaign. It would be gossip, it would be slander, it would be anything that anybody does to you that takes away from your name, your livelihood, and your life. No friends in the industry is about that kind of energy. So that is something. So let's talk about payback. When you get hit up by somebody, you are naturally inclined to want to pay them back. And empaths, you guys always know that I say we are verbal and spiritual snipers. You have every opportunity to hit somebody back, but I do recommend that you do it with a modicum of caution and consideration to how that would play out for you. If someone has justly excuse me, really offended you, you get a bit of grace and cover. That's what people don't understand. To do and say things that most others couldn't, especially if you're holding someone accountable that's never been held accountable. But I love this energy because sometimes we need to understand that we have to draw the line between our brothers and our enemies. And sometimes even our own brothers and sisters can be enemies, and that's a fact. I don't want to make anybody paranoid, but I don't want us to remain in a naivete, one that I have definitely been steeped and immersed in. My person in my life was my enemy, and that was a fact. Sleeping with the enemy, okay? Or even if you weren't sleeping with them, being friends with the person who hates you more than anybody is right in your face. And it's the reason that it's happened tale as old as time, Jesus and Judas. When your Judas appears, your blessings are near. Maybe that will be the next video. That means that when you finally find out who hates you to your face, you are given such a grace to be able to operate with freedom and without impunity. I now behave, carry myself, and say the things that I wanted to say, that needed to be said, the things that so many other people before me have failed to say, to hold that person in my past life accountable for their toxic, deleterious, wild as a Taliban behavior. Many had tried and all had failed, but I got it right. And it's not because I'm so magical. It's because I was given permission to fight. Why? Because they had betrayed. So all of their rights, rules, or the regulations of the universe essentially have been stripped away. The same is true for you, empath. And I think that's something that we forget sometimes, that we have the power, as we are divine, to take back the words that were maybe spread over us and to set the record straight. You have the right to do that. I really love this. Now here's when he says I owe you something back. Here's one of my favorite parts here. I so related to this, he says, and he does something interesting in the song. If you listen to it, he changes his voice. You almost think it's somebody else featured on his track. It's Drake, and he gets into this almost alter ego. And empath, I will say that when we get into that dynamic, we too find an alter ego. I certainly found mine. But here's how he says, and he says it like this: see, when I was young angel, but these haters turned me evil. Yeah, I know you, but you really ain't my people. Yeah, I heard some people say they know him as my equal. Truth be told, I son these haters, girl. I don't compete with them. Ask about the boy, and they're gonna say he's got the streets with him. Haters so offensive, knowing they don't have any defense. Why they always act like we can fix it with a meeting. All that linking up, F out of here, essentially, is what he says. I'm going to see him when I see him. Let me go back and let's talk about that again. See, when I was young, angel, but you haters turned me evil. I had an experience that was so out of body, so otherworldly, and that you guys have heard me talk about it ad nauseum here. I was sweet, I was innocent. It doesn't mean I didn't have narcissistic abuse, but the kind of narcissistic encounter that I had, my most recent one in the last few years, turned me. I was young angel, but those haters turned me evil. It turned me. I almost had to catch myself from falling off the edge of the cliff, from becoming as low vibrational as them. It is there before the grace of God. You know, when he says, you sent something our way, now we have to send it back to you. In the previous, he says, haters love to start beef, but don't want to keep it wrapped. Yeah, you hit us up, and now we owe you something back. The people in my life, and maybe in yours, started something. And then they wanted to be like, no, we didn't mean it like that. No, it was just, no, that's not what it, no. You were full of shit. You meant it exactly how you meant it. You were malicious. You were laughing. You delighted in it. And you thought you got away with it. And you were laughing with your mouth open and your head back with all of your teeth exposed because you thought you had done a swell job. So that's one of the sentiments that I so related to with Drake when he says, you sent something over this way. Now you just want to keep it like, well, I'm perfectly imperfect and misunderstood. No bullshit. You know the difference between bad and good, and you made choices. And that's the same thing for the people in your life. And that's why I don't want you to take for granted that they knew that they were inflicting and causing you strife. When I was young angels, but these haters turned me evil. Yeah, I so relate, and maybe you can relate to the part of you that you thought was betrayal that ended up turning you great. I was an earth angel. I am an earth angel. You are earth angels watching, empaths, sweet light workers, etc. Divine feminines, divine masculines, all of that. Reformed karmics. You guys have a mission here on earth to raise the vibration. But when we are young, sometimes we get taken advantage of. And even if we are naive at 61, we can be taken advantage of. Well, I was a young angel. And those two Prakalishas, I like to think of them as like the stepsisters off of Cinderella. the things off of Ursula when she's like poor unfortunate souls. Thanks, Jess. The poor unfortunate souls. What are those things? Those eels. Oh, snakes. That's exactly what they were. They were snakes. They were two snakes that thought so. And I'm sure you guys have had your snakes that thought so too. This is not some thing that is so new, meaning if we have the model over and over of people being betrayed, and it started out with one of our first Bible stories, probably for most of us, Jesus and Judas, then it is something that was allowed to happen because a destiny had to be fulfilled. So let's get back into the song. They turned me evil. And I love this part. Yeah, I know you, but you really ain't my people. That goes to say that sometimes when we get betrayed, we can start to realize I might have known this person for 25 years, 30 years, 5 years, 2 years, but you really weren't my people. You didn't value me, you didn't protect me, you didn't ride for me, you were not loyal to me, and we do not accept loyal. He says, truth be told, he says, yeah, I heard some people say they know him as my equal. For the divine feminines here, your karmic, the karmic that may have come in and interloped and caused an explosion in your relationship, really thought that they were your equal. Y'all, I had to suppress the evil laugh. They really thought that they were your equal. And they were like carbon copying, single white femaling, really. Maybe even your divine masculine was thought that he was your equal regarding trying to compete with you instead of being in partnership with you to elevate and build. I put up a picture recently of me at the Biltmore overlooking this gorgeous view, right? And it was something that I had tried to build as an example message with my divine masculine or my distorted, whatever. This ex person in my life, the crazy in my life, Miss Hannigan. We'll call him Miss Hannigan. Miss Hannigan, that's exactly a great description. I was trying to build the Miss Hannigan in my life who was my Judas. And you can't build. And what it took me forever and ever to try to build with her, she was very easily able to build with somebody else. And I was even more easily able to build it with somebody else because it was the right person. So yeah, you say you know him, but you're not my people. And I hear that you think on some level that we are equal, but you need to know your power, divine feminine. You are not equal to the karmic. The karmic wants to emulate you and be you. And a lot of the obsession with the masculine is not even about the masculine. It is about you. It is about their jealousy. It is about wanting to take something to see if they can break it. It is about them wanting to keep what they have. I have another video coming up about that because I had a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks about people being like, I just don't understand, and I'm like, girl, this wasn't even about your man. It was about you, girl. She gay. She love you. Anyway, let's get back to this. I love that part. So yes. I love this part too when he says, ask about the boy and and he says, wait, excuse me. He says, truth be told, I son these haters, girl. I don't compete with them. Y'all know how I feel about that. We don't compete if we don't compare. Wow. Good. Hey, Skin Champagne. I'm glad. I hope it resonates with you. We don't compete if we don't compare. You know what lane you're in. You know your level of expertise. You know what you're capable of doing. You know what you bring to the table. Why are you competing? If Miss Hannigan, the Miss Hannigan in my life, the sloppy person in my life, the reckless person in my life, had actually just even given me 25 seconds of being like, on your mark, get set, I would have smoked them so quickly. I still smoke them with my blindfold on, with my eyes closed, with them acting and thinking that it was a tortoise in the hair. They had such a head start, and I still smoke them with my spirituality and my spiritual sniper energy. The same is true for you. Sometimes you have to understand the industry is our spiritual reality, okay? So sometimes empaths, we don't have friends in the industry. It is a lonely path when you're working on your ascension and your evolution. And this is what you need to know. These things happen on purpose to get you to grow. Jesus could have offset that. He could have understood, and he did. He predicted Judas was going to betray him. He handed the bread to him first. I will teach a deep lesson on that. It's one of my favorite lessons because guess what? Jesus rode for Judas, okay? Jesus loved Judas. Judas was his homie, okay? You know how in Clueless they say, Jesus is my homie. Judas was Jesus's homie, okay? He absolutely, like, Jesus loved him. He gave him accounts, gave him access to the money, the coffers. He got to be the accountant. Judas was always in his ear complaining. Guess who was in Judas's ear? Karmic. karmic energy, even though it may not have been in the sexual sense that a lot of us are used to with the divine masculine, feminine, and karmic dynamic. He had karmic hater friends that were not his friends, and that sure as heck weren't Jesus's friends, that were like, you know what, this Jesus, da 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 da, why is the money not going? What is he using it for? A lot of people will love to get into your ear, and that's when he says earlier in the song, yeah, you heard about me, but you don't really know me. That's the thing. Who really knew Jesus intimately? His people. And who betrayed him? The person that was the closest to him, his Judas. We all have a Judas if you're on the spiritual track, and that's why you need to know that if they send something, it's important to sometimes send it right back. Let's see what else he says here. I love it. He says, why are haters so offensive? Know that they don't have a defense. He says, ask about the boy, and they're going to say he's got the streets with him. I want you guys to understand, empaths, you have the streets with you. And the streets are your angels and ancestors behind you. Big A for angels behind me. You have the streets with you. So energetically, when I was going through battle with Miss Hannigan and Sloppy Seconds, I was like, how do I navigate this? Sloppy third, fourths, and fifths. How do I navigate this? Well, I didn't navigate it by just having all the answers. I didn't have the answers. What I did was I leaned on, not on my own understanding, and I got deep into my spirituality, and I knew that the only backup I had was going to be my angels and ancestors. It brought me closer to God, brought me closer to my knees. Your betrayal moment will do that. What did Jesus say? Pass this cup before me. When you know that you are about to be sacrificed, we all get a premonition, whether it's spiritually, in a workplace situation, in your job, whether the narcissist is getting ready to discard you, whether an ex is becoming very toxic and maybe they're flirty-wordy with the new person, whatever, whether you have sniffed out the workplace affair, whether you have sniffed out the family affair, whatever you have done, you usually get a heads up if you pay attention, empath, from your angels that there is about to be a betrayal. I did, and it helped save my life because I had the streets with me, and that's what I want you to know. You have the ask about your boy. They're going to say he has the streets with him. Now, this is thank you, and you can always feel it. Thank you, Kaleido. Yes, you can always feel it. You can always feel when that betrayal is going to come up. This is what Drake is talking about when he says the streets are with him. Premonitions are in fact clutch, Mason. Thank you. When he says he has the streets with him, this is from back to back with his fight with Meek Mill. This is when he came back from the story of Adidon. He has been fighting people that feel like Drake is soft. So that's what he said, I was an angel, but you haters turned me evil. See, people in our lives and past will poke and provoke and poke and provoke and poke and provoke. It just so happened that Miss Hannigan and Slippery Sarah in my past, it just so happened that they didn't realize, for whatever reason, that I was a lion. So you can play with lions, and I'm going to give and imbue you all with this energy. But what happens if you play with the lion too much? We've even seen lions playing with their cubs. And if that mom or dad is done with the cub, the roar, the smackdown, the paw to the face, to the back of the neck, the picking up by the back of the neck with their teeth and moving them. And they do it, and they don't think a thing about it. And people are like, oh my God, does it hurt? No. Sometimes you have to deal with these beasts this way. Now, yes, a lion is a beast. It's a cute beast that we can look at sometimes, but it's not necessarily cuddly. And all of us have that energy, empaths, when we are pushed and pushed and pushed to the brink. And then we react in a way that they would never think. And they say, oh my God, she's being so mean and so bitchy. And how did this happen? Well, it happened because thou dost decide to tread on me. Okay, you know how our seal for America is, you shall not tread on me? Yeah, well, they decided to tread on you. And so no friends in the industry got very true very quickly. That's what happens, guys. You have the power to do that. That's why when I say empower yourself and fight back, I mean that. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. I took a lot of crap from Miss Hannigan and from Toxic Tins. I took a lot of it. I waited. I let them bully. I let them think that they were winning. I gave them enough rope to hang themselves, and then they hung themselves. And the same is true for you and anybody that comes through. The irony of it is it goes back to Jesus, and the King of the Jews. What happened to Judas? Out of his own guilt, what did he do? He hung himself. Why did he hang himself? Because he knew that he betrayed the only person that ever gave any of the F's about him, that ever cared about him. The only person that was able to forgive him and give him absolution was the person that he betrayed. And he thought, I can never ask for his forgiveness. He is gone now. He did not know that Jesus would rise again. He did not know that on the third day he would rise according to what we know. So what I realized is that Judas had to go. Judas will go. And even if the people in your life don't end up offing themselves, I don't wish that on anybody. That's not my job. I have no heaven or hell to send you to. I am just a person here experiencing it just like you. But what I do know is they commit spiritual suicide, energetically, emotionally, sexually, meaning actual diseases, meaning spiritually transmitted diseases, meaning energetic attachments, karmic energy, impoverished energy, lack poverty consciousness, poverty. These are big words that are coming up. They also create imbalances in relationships for the rest of their life where they never have true, lasting love. After you've had Jesus love you, and I'm not saying we're Jesus empaths, okay? But if we are the body, then why aren't our arms reaching? We are part of the body of whatever we consider the Christ consciousness, yeah? So that is talked about. If we are that, then who can forgive you more than the one that is here with the empathetic nature to do so? That's why these people take care of themselves, because you have the streets with you, and those streets are those angels and ancestors. He says, yeah, no friends in the industry. My brother's been my brother's. Man, you haters ain't no kin to me, a fact. Again, back, I was known for snapping when I chat before the app, stood on everything I said and never took it back. Come on. Can we talk about that? Don't we predict things? Don't we have words and rhema words in our own way and intuitions about things, never taking it back? And that's the thing that I think is really important, is not wavering in who you are. Those Judases are flip-floppers. You know how many times Judas flip-flop between should I betray, should I not betray, 30 pieces of silver, 25, should I ask for an extra 5 for a tip? He went back and forth, and he knew he shouldn't have done it. He knew the whole time, but he went back and forth because what does the word say? That a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So if someone could flip on you after days and days and days, you leave your home for days and days. That's from 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne. If someone could flip on you for after years and being in your life, and then they take off the mask and stuff's not right, then you have a true Judas on your hands, and there's nothing at all that you can do to backtrack. One of the things that he says here, let's see here. He says, yeah, I'm like Sha'Carri, smoke him on and off the track. Wow. This one's funny. This is specifically for the divine feminines that have felt vested or felt any kind of way. Oh God, I wish I could come and hug all of you guys. He says, yeah, you love that hoe, but I put her on her back. I'm not recommending that any of you guys do that. The way that we divine feminines put a karmic hoe on their back is by standing in our truth and being integral and being our incredible, impressive, and empress. I mean that. Impressive self. We are the empress. We are the high priestess. That's how we put them on their back, because all they wanted to do was fight and attack. They thought by being on their back for your masculine that they had won something, some kind of prize. But the truth is, when we read them for filth, we put them on their back. That's something that you can do with the power of your mouth. Life and death is in the tongue, right? And so they thought that they were giving life with their tongue bathings and their tongue lickings and lashings. But we do it with a whiplash effect. The things that I have written, the things that I have said, stay true, and they stand true because I was not saying things to be mean to a person. I was saying things because I saw that there were better things that they could do. I saw that there was a way that they could evolve, and I saw why they were broken. That's the magic of this empath, even in divine feminine. If the karmic has done all this wild stuff, you still know what's wrong with her, because on some level you've experienced that. You may not be as gravely debaucherous, lecherous, and low vibrational as she is, but we all have our light and our dark. So that's something to understand. I love that. We can put them on their back. Yeah, they put them on their back first, and then we lay them out with our words and the truth as we walk away. Pull your energy away. That's a huge tip here, too. He says you get Drizzy on the track, and he'll put you on the map. Oh, it's like that? He says, hell yeah, it's like that. And I got a contract. It's a max. Since she got in contact, she's attached. When I signed my first deal, that shit came through a fax. That should let you know how long I've been out here running laps. And he says, I've been doing this for a long time. I love it. That's one of my favorite parts. He says, Again, I will repeat it. And I'm like Sha'Carri Smoke. I'm on and off the track, the racer that just got in trouble for that with the Olympics. And you love that hoe, but me, I put her on her back. Bars indeed, Mason. And you love that hoe, but me, I put her on her back. So your divine masculine may love that hoe, but what do? We put them on their back, not for sexual reasons. We put them on their back energetically. It was like essentially, excuse my language, it is after hours. Bitch, take a real look at yourself. Take a look at yourself. Take a look in the mirror. Take a look at your desperation. Take a look at your codependency. Take a look at all of the toxic and unhealthy places that are only going to beget you disease, depravity, and brokenness. And maybe you might want to fix that or don't. I don't know. It's up to you. So that's one of the things that I loved about this. When you get Drizzy on the track, he'll put you on the map. I love that. Empaths, when we are involved in things, we have a magical, special energy that we sprinkle over everything, and we make everybody feel better. We make everything shinier, sparklier. We raise vibrations. We transmute energy. We're doing it all the time. But most of us don't know our power, and that's what I'm here to teach you is your power. We're doing it all the time. When you walk into a room, when you go into your job, when you walk into that family tense moment, when you interrupt or disperse something going on in the bathroom at work, when you talk to your mom and talk her down off a ledge, or talk to your sister, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, you are being called on like that to transmute energy. So that's something that I want you to understand, because I don't think that we really understand that even people being connected to us makes them brighter. With the Miss Hannigan in my life, her connection to me, she got to steal a lot of things from me energetically, try to make it work for her. It's one of my favorite lines from Hove. You think you made Hove, make another Hove. Meaning that it's not possible for the people that try to steal from you, so don't worry about that, to carry on after you, because you are the originator, right? You are the originator of the idea. You are the sourdough starter, okay? You are the Amish friendship bread starter that can last 100 years. So you are an endless well of ideas, because the muse passes through us, empath, and because we are dedicated, meditated, and grounded, we get those messages and we pass it to other people. So when Drizzy says, if you put me on the track, it's gonna be, it's a win. You're gonna get hit. It's a fact. We know that with Drake. If Drake is featured on anything, we're listening, because his perspective is unique. Empath, your perspective is unique, and people need that. They don't even realize what they need or why they're attached, but they are. And then the next thing he says that I love, he says, when you get Drizzy on the track, I'll put you on the map. Oh, it's like that. It's like that. Hell yeah, it's like that. I want you guys to stand in that. I, for so many years, didn't understand why people flew in and out of my life, or why they would come in and use or abuse and then leave and whatever. And it's because when they were proximal to me, stuff in their life went well. Now I use it purposely. Now when I have a friend in my life, I'm like, okay, here's how I'm going to feed into your life. This is what my gifting is. If you want the promotion, if you want the level up, if you want the whatever. But I'm making sure that it's reciprocal now. Empath's message, you have to make sure that your energy exchanges are reciprocal, because there are no friends in the industry. All relationships are transactional. And because we're love and light earth angels, we think, well, it's not transactional. No, I'll just give. And then what? We have people that take and take and take. So understand that when you get yourself involved in someone's life, it will elevate and it will be great. Unless, straight up, be so careful, Mason. Unless you vet the person properly. And after a few trips around the narc bend, we start to vet people and we're like, okay, what's really going on here? So that's what I need you to understand. When you get an empath on the track, what does he say? When you get Drizzy on the track, he'll put you on the map. So an empath in your life will put you... Thanks, First Slice. And well, these are Drake's lyrics. I'm just breaking them down for my thing. So he's a smart one. But when you get an empath in your life, yeah, vetting, yes, you do. You have to vet. When you get an empath in your life, it changes everything. What is the next thing that he says that I love? He says, and I got a contract. It's a max. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, girl, we love eye makeup over here. Thank you. I'm glad it's fabulous information. I thought I kind of understood. Here's the deal. Okay, so I'm back. All right. And I got a contract. It's a max. Hey, I love that. Empath. For our pain and suffering, a lot of us walk into a lot of blessings, okay? And I know that as soon as I disconnected from Carmisha and Karmika Kiki, when I disconnected from those two Jezebels and succubus energies and incubi, I realized how abundant I always was. And I realized that for the last 10 years of my life, I was in the wake of toxic karma from a negative covert narc. How many of you can relate that when you separate, your life got great? I mean, great. I mean, great. Like like everything you ever wanted was just like, boo, boo, boo. You get it, you get it, you get it. It was a full Oprah moment in my life. That's one of the videos I have up here. If you don't understand if they're karmic, check your bank account. What do you lose? So now your masculine is attached to the karmic. Can you imagine what they've lost? God shut my eyes and I asked them to be shut because I didn't want to help. I was like, ooh, the spiteful way you did me. I have nothing to give thee except for a mirror for thee to see. That's what I offer. But that was one of the things I thought was really funny. So the contracts, you will get offers, you will get abundance and all of that. So he says he got a contract. It's a max, meaning the maximum amount that he could even get in his contracts. And I love this part. This is where we just have a little Drake braggadocious for no reason. Since I got in contact, she's attached. When I signed my first deal, that shit came through effects. That should let you know how long I've been out here running laps. Empaths. Let's talk about the sacral chakra energy. Since I got in contact, she's attached. If you guys know your power, know your power. We have the ability to connect with people when we want to, whether it's in friendship, whether it's in lovership, whether it's in hanging out ship, okay? If we want to be in contact, even for those of you watching, since we've been in contact, I'm attached, right? So I love our exchanges. I love when I see Just Theory pop up, and I love when I see Belinda and Emily and Cathariana. These are some of the ones. Mason, you're becoming a regular over here too. Jenkin, okay, if you watch this back, Jenny from Scandinavia. So I love when I see my regulars because when we get in contact, we get attached. Now let's level that up. What did we do before? We were codependent, clingy, maybe lower vibrational, maybe some of us stage 2, 3, 4, or 5 clingers. All right. Now, what did we watch happen with the swingers that we call our divine masculine? Thank you, Jess. Our divine masculine or feminine or distorted, whatever. Those swingers also got in contact. They got attached. However, it was in codependency. We have addictive energy, empath. That's why I love that line from Drake. Since I got in contact, she's attached. Hey, yeah. That's because we all can be like that. So whether it's a he or a she that you want to be attached, they'll be attached. But we want to stay high vibrational with it. We don't want to be back into our codependent devolution where we lose our brains and we start attaching and caring more about someone else than we do ourselves. That is not healthy. And I love how he says that should let you know how long I've been out here doing laps. We have been working in our gifting since we were kiddos, empaths, okay? A lot of us didn't know it. We had our parents. There were situations that pushed us into creating the empath energy. And so the thing that you need to know about that is you have been at this for a long time. And when you get into a relationship and you start calling yourself an empath or you start identifying this, people like to down you and act like, no, this is not true, or you don't get to own this, or you have too many feelings. Own all of your feelings, empath. Own every single feeling. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be pissed. In fact, I say be pissed more. In fact, I said express more, yell more. When you've got poor unfortunate souls all slithering around in your life, speak up more and tell them, get back. Because if you mess with me, my angels and ancestors, the streets that are with your boy or your girl will cause you strife. It will be something you have never seen in your life. I know for a fact that freaking frack in my life feel away because life has dealt them with blows that they could not have predicted. But guess who could have predicted, empath? I could have. Guess who did? I did. Maybe the same was true for you. How many people did you warn about being careful of the things that they did do? Yeah? And you weren't wrong. All right, so let's continue here. He wraps it up again, talking about drawing the line. And he says, damn, this shit's too dirty, gotta yellow tape it. And I got her waiting at the telly naked. This is Drake being braggadocious. He says, now this is him talking directly to Kanye. So I won't even go into that. Okay, wait. Yep. This is personal attacks to Kanye. I guess I'm supposed to read it. Okay, so he says, damn, this shit's too dirty, gotta yellow tape it. And I got her waiting at the telly naked. We ain't dropped though how you haters celebrating, already disrespecting, and that's something I ain't tolerating. Come on. Sometimes people love to disrespect us because they've seen us as doormats. They've seen us as pushovers. Even though I'm so grateful that God spares me and promised me he would spare me from ever physically encountering Frick, Frack, Miss Hannigan, Crack, whatever you want to call the person that was the monkey on my back, who now has monkeys on her back. The thing that I knew was that I didn't want to ever deal with her because I was like, disrespect is something I'm not tolerating. Sometimes, and this is why we love Drake, he speaks to our souls, y'all. Disrespect is something I'm not tolerating. You can't be disrespectful to me ever again a day in your life. That person can't even look at my face unless she's looking through this light. She can't even look at me because disrespect is something I'm not tolerating. And I mean that. And I love the energy of that, very scorpionic energy. Drake, Scorpio, renowned for long grudges and holding grudges and whatever else. But if you've got Scorpio in your chart, you can use that on your behalf. I've got a couple people, and I'm still working on my evolution to release my grudges. I was just talking to a family member about that tonight. I was like, oh, I had to do a word the other day. And I was advising people to do as I did and not as I say, because, or do as I said and not as I did, because when it came for compassion for me, I was no friends in the industry. You haters ain't no kin to me, and that's a fact. Yeah. So that's interesting. So I want you guys to understand that. Let's see. Something I'm not tolerating. He says, you haters, if you mess with me, I give them motivation. So he says, if you haters F with me, I give them motivation. And your circle's shrinking. See some boys escaping. Rest of them are guilty by association. A. F debating who's the GOAT. Better not make it up about the summer is all I know. Better not make ish up about the numbers is all I know. Better find you someone else to hit with all that smoke and all them posts and all them tweets. Ain't no okay, so here's the thing that he wants you to understand. Drake is talking his ish. We know Drake is debatably one of the greatest artists. Empaths, I want you to think of yourself as debatably one of the greatest friends, one of the greatest lovers, one of the greatest communicators, one of the greatest family members. Because if you are truly an empath, you are anticipating and cleaning people's energy all the time. So he's talking about how people betrayed him and were dirty. He said, gotta yellow tape it, like we would see on Law and Order SVU, the yellow tape around a crime scene. That's the level of betrayal. When we get to this song and you're waking up and brushing your teeth and you're on the treadmill to this song, no friends in the industry, you haters ain't no kin to me, a fact. That's very Nipsey Hussle, okay? Rap. Anyway, that's another song. That's very Nipsey. It's very street. It's very like, sometimes we need to be grimy. F all this love, light, and sweet. Sometimes I need you to be like, if they betrayed you once, that's enough for you. There's nothing else that they need to come back around and do. I love how he talks about that. He says, if you even mess with me, I give you motivation. For the divine feminine and the karmic connection, you motivated the karmic to try to be a better human. She failed. They failed. He failed. Whatever. You even motivated your masculine as you walked away because you did something that they were incapable of doing with their cowardice energy, which is standing up for yourself, having a backbone, standing up to the community, not being worried about being alone, not being worried about being ostracized, not being worried about them telling lies. You did something that they're terrified of with their little baby boy energy. Yes, I'm so glad with their baby boy energy. You're just a baby boy. You're not the real McCoy. All of us who have ever seen BT have seen Jody and baby boy. The cowards are spineless. Just indeed. We have seen Jody and baby boy. That energy, it's the archetype of a man who thinks they're a man or a woman who thinks they're a woman. And usually they're about F-ish. They're a terrible person, terrible parent. They abandon their kids for penis or vagina, depending on how they feel that day. We all have known a few people like that have come in and out of our way. So when they're saying, I motivate you, when he says, I give my haters motivation, he's true. It's true. We motivate people that even hate us. Who was Judas motivated by? Jesus. He wanted to be Jesus. He wanted to ascend to the right hand of the Father. So he ended up ascending to the right hand of the Father's Son, Jesus, right? He got to where he wanted to be. And a lot of those people that betray us are those no friends in the industry, get very close to us because sometimes it's all about the prophecy. The prophecy here that this wraps with is God, yes. Yes, exactly, Mason. Sometimes we deal with stuff since we were kids. And that's something I was talking to a client about recently. Being bullied since a child and having to come out swinging every time. And that's why this is my ministry. I can't wait to meet you guys around the country. I can't wait to meet you guys around the world. I don't care, mask on, whatever you want to do. I am ready to motivate and empower you. No friends in the industry. It's okay. That's a fact. It's okay if an empath scraps. And when I mean scraps, I mean words. I mean protects themselves. I'm tired of us dealing with the absurd, with the overbearing, with the people that think that they can just ish on us. You know what? It's so true. I was young angel, but those haters turned me evil. But the evil that I access is shadow side. Mason, maybe I think you asked a question about shadow or somebody else. I tapped into my masculine side and my feminine side. I balanced it in this portrayal, but I also tapped into my shadow side. And I realized that that was the edge that was missing. Yes, I was sweet, but things in my life were moving like a snail. You need masculine energy, conquistador energy, powerful, forward moving, thrusting energy in order to take on an attack, or to be a strategist in a general and stand back and let them think that they're stabbing you repeatedly in the back until you surprise them. Turn around and pull out each one of those knives. And then you attack in your own way, responsibly, empath, without violence. I love that energy of, excuse me, if you mess with me, I give you motivation. So understand that. And your circle's shrinking. I see some boys escaping. The rest of them are guilty by association. Come on. That's where I'm going to end it right there. All those people that wanted to come against you, that had to gang up against you, one person. So many people ganged up against you, one empath. The smear campaign against you from the narcissist, empath. You understand that divine feminine. If you're dealing with the karmic on the phone with her friends, the karmic on the phone with your ex-boo talking about you and thinking it was okay. No friends in the industry. You haters ain't no kin to me. And that's a fact. The energy about that is the circle shrinking. I see some boys escaping, or girls. All those people that came against you will absolutely turn into enemies and hate each other. It is the natural order of things. Those people that all talked Judas into that wanted nothing to do with it after Christ was killed and after Judas was found with his entrails spilled out on the ground because he had hung himself and one of the limbs had snapped through and disemboweled him. Come on, karma. Come on, you gutless, spineless, lower vibrational, unevolved, dark entity. A devil, a succubus, came to take the life out of Jesus. Wanted to see him hanging from a tree. This is the best part of what happens when you have no friends in the industry. If they think they're attacking you, their attacks will boomerang back to them, and there is nothing they can do. That's why when the person said to me, I got the karma you wish me, XYZ to the third power. No, mama, you got the karma you wish you, boo. You got the karma you called onto you by being treacherous repeatedly to someone who had done nothing but be kind to thee. So no, I didn't send anything. I don't send anything. That's not my business. Jesus is my homie, unlike the coven of remedial cracked out witches that I was dealing with. They were answering to a different demonic energy. And so the karma that they give, the devil loves to play that game. So let's get down to brass tacks. If someone is sending shots at you and you send them back, the devil just used them and manipulated them. He said, will you come play with me? Will you give away great gifts or great connections or great abundant possibilities for nothing? And I'm going to give you some excitement. And then when you give it to me, 30 shekels of silver, 30 pieces of silver for the best friend he ever had, then you will do nothing but bemoan the day you ever were born, because you can't go back home once you have cut that cord. That's why Drake says that. Those people wanted nothing to do with Judas after. The circle shrinks. The people that come against you, the smear campaigners, they disperse because they were only unified by hating you first. You get it? I can't imagine how many hours they spent, Miss Hannigan and her orphan spent chatting about me and spent making fun of me and spent being absolutely cruel and mean. And now the world will be cruel and mean to them. And it's not that I get any schadenfreude from that, but it does make me feel very contented to know that the universe is just. And what did Martin Luther King say? The arc of justice, the moral arc of justice always bends towards right. I know that that's totally misquoted, but something to that. I said this was going to be a tarot conversation. Let's see if I've got any tarot in me. Let's see. The rest of them are guilty by association is my last point. There were people that saw what was happening to you. They could have stepped in and intervened. There are people that did. There was one person specifically in my situation that I covered because he was the only one who was like, hey, this is not right. What's going on here? But the rest of them are guilty by association. So shots get fired to anybody when that kind of thing happens. F all this like love and line and let's be quiet and let's do this right. Listen, this is what I'm talking about with the shadow and the dark thoughts, guys. Shadow and dark thoughts. You see it? We have to get into our shadow side to be the teacher. This is really a powerful thing as I flip the deck here. And decrease. Yeah. What are we teaching them about? The laws of the universe. Decrease, shadow, dark thoughts. We are the You see that? We are the teacher, guys. And you do that by not actually going and getting revenge on whoever did whatever to you. You teach them by walking away from their fragmented energy, okay? You teach them from walking away from their stuck energy. You let them discover what an ultimate douchebag they are. You let them, you like hold it up, to them. Let them take a look at it now. Yeah, take a real good look at it. You let them see that they maybe need some professional assistance. Yeah, maybe they need that. And you focus on the things that matter to you. Focus on being in gratitude. Focus on the fact that you were on the honoring path, that you actually did the right bloody thing. Bloody thing. That's about blood, red, our roots, root chakra, being grounded, making wise decisions. Focus on travel, divine feminine and earth angel. Focus on joyous fun. While they're focused on decrease, you focus on increase. You know why? Because in the Akashic Records, which is the sacred temple, in the Akashic Records, guess what happened? It was destined for Judas to betray Jesus, just like it was destined for Miss Hannigan and the poor orphan to betray me. We all have people that are assigned. They get taken over by lower vibrational energy. Drug addictions, alcoholism, pills, all these things lower your vibration, and it means that you can have a spirit attached to you. You know, we hear in the hymnals, put on the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, lift up your voice to God. So there's this energy of putting on some kind of thick cloak to get away another thing. Well, there are demonic energies, and the energies are not just like it's pure evil. What it means is there's a spirit of depression, there's a spirit of suicide, there's a spirit of gossip. These are things that afflict all of us at various times. But when someone lowers their vibration with drugs or sexual connections to someone who is actually a succubus and demonic, they're taking on all of that. Plus, I was going to say, so it was divine betrayal, someone else would have stepped up eventually. Oh, good point, Mason. Hold that thought. I'm going to get into that. What was I saying? So, I don't know. I lost my thought there. I was saying something about the fact that betrayal. I got to answer Mason's question. Yes, in order for us to elevate, sometimes we need the betrayal. I would never have said that until I went through it. I would never have been the spiritual badass I became had I not been put through the test. In so many ways, that person was my soulmate, right? I'd always known that they were my soulmate. Maybe you've known them about that, about other narcissists or people that you've dealt with. And they were. Just because they were narcissists, just because I detest them, that doesn't mean that they weren't that. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. It's so funny. I found an email, Mason, a year ago or something that I had never opened in like 20 years or 13 years. I don't know. She sent it to me a long time ago. And in it, she says, I'll see if I can find it and maybe read it to you guys. But in it, she says something, and you know, she's talking about her girlfriend at the time and whatever else. And she was saying something about being worried about me because I get taken advantage of, right? Which is her worst nightmare, which is now all she'll get is fully taken advantage of. Okay, you were saying the spirit of depression, spirit of suicide. Ah, thank you, Mason. So I will get back to that. So what happened is with that is she will now have those experiences that she had wished on me. And also for her to grow. She needs to know what it's like to feel all the ways I may have felt, all the ways she caused me to feel. And it wasn't all her. She'll have other feelings and she'll have other triggers with her own real deepest fears. However, if it wasn't her that betrayed me, would someone else have stepped in? Yes. Why do we hear that with celebrities all the time, that there's their closest friend embezzling money or doing something? Because that is the nature. In order for us to evolve, we do it through intimacy. And even intimate relationships that are toxic or violate your energy still teach you something. Not all of us are me. And what I mean by that is not all of us are called to teach about this and document it in all of its painful detail. You guys have been here, Just Theory, for sure. You've seen all of the painful detail. You've also seen me come out of the depression. You saw me in it. You saw me in my full bitterness. You saw when I was like, Nuck, if you buck. You saw if I was like, if I saw her today, I could end up on Snap. I've evolved. I've grown. But that doesn't mean I didn't have to face my shadow. And Mason, to answer your question, someone was going to be sent in to get me off track. Demonic energy does that. They just want to take you off track. And especially when you have like a spouse or a divine counterpart, they're going to press to see if they can attack. Message quickly about that. No one can take your man or your woman from you. If someone is weak, they will do exactly what they did to you. Whether it's your bestie, whether it's just a friend, whether it's a family member that betrays you, that's always part of their spirit. I knew that about Miss Hannigan, that was a part of her spirit. Miss Hannigan, the reason I call her that, if you guys have seen Annie, Miss Hannigan was a caretaker of the children who she treated like really adults and who she didn't care for. She was a sloppy drunk. She tried to hide it. Whenever dignitaries or people she thought were important came around, she would pretend that she was sober and a good human when she was a hot mess who didn't take care of the kids. That literally is a description of the person that I dealt with. Someone who postured as something they absolutely weren't and was always looking for the next lecherous sexual come up. Like, which one of these people is going to be my new daddy or mommy or whatever, okay? So that was my Miss Hannigan. Now, if I didn't have Miss Hannigan come in, it would have been somebody else. And trust me, Mason, in my life, I've had lots of trials and tribulations that even Miss Hannigan knew about, but she still wanted to betray. And why does she want to betray? Everybody has people that come into their life to do transformations. She was supposed to experience loss. Judas needed to experience that loss too for his soul's growth. Transformation is a card of scorpionic energy, death, and rebirth, okay? Represented here by transformation. So a Judas comes in to transform you so that you can discover who you really are. Because how do we withstand betrayal? How do we recover from that is the thing. Now, when I was talking about the spirit of suicide, thank you for the reminder, Mason, and the spirit of sexuality, or various kind of like perversions and things of that nature. That was a terrible role model. Yet Miss Hannigan, yeah, she was a terrible role model. What I want you to understand is that, gosh, friends and colleagues, be careful who you're around. When I talk about spiritually transmitted diseases, no friends in the industry. Hi, hey, good looking hunky. Hi, good looking hunky. Monette, hi, Peter North here. Old adult film star, great stream. I love that you're an adult film star. I love sacral chakra energy, Peter. If we could keep it kind of PG so I don't get taken down, I might have you join me on another live and we can teach some tricks and tips because good sex matters. And who better to do that with than an old porn star? I love it. Love to see it. I love that you were in. I'd love to see your chart too because I'm sure that there's some reasons that you were drawn to that work. In any case, guys, back to this. Be careful who you're around. Hi, honey. Be careful who you're around. And because you will assimilate their energy. So Judas was around some hating ass haters and they were in his ear. Oh, Jesus, the Son of God, whatever. He's about to get caught up anyway. You might as well make some money, Judas. And so Judas took the bait, like the dummies that we had in our lives that took the bait. I laugh every day. Every day Jesus sends. I laugh out loud with my mouth open and all my teeth exposed at the stupidity of the person, but it was their soul lesson that, I know because they were living in this, I just shuffled and this is what they were living in, this a consciousness of lack. The person I dealt with, Miss Hannigan, was totally in a lack and poverty consciousness. I'm so glad a lot of people have here tonight too, was totally in a lack and poverty consciousness, and they were devoid in this. They had no idea about what commitment is. Jesus was so committed to Judas that as he hung there on the cross as a result of his friend, his bestie, selling him out, lying on him, being a disgusting person to him, he still used his last breath with his ribs that were ragged and his body that was hanging. And he inhaled and said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." His last breath was to forgive that piece of shit that betrayed him. He's better than me. That's why he was the king of the Jews as they crowned him that day when they destroyed his life and soul, but not his soul. Could they ever take away, really? But that is what he did. He offered that kind of thing. But he knew there were no friends in the industry. The industry was spirituality, and for us, that's our industry. Spirituality, metaphysical practices, there are no friends. We may have tribesmen and some kindred partnerships. We may have people we connect with, like we're connecting tonight, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be with you into the thick of the fight. And in order to have a rite of passage, you got to go into a couple of fights by yourself. By yourself with no help. It's your vision quest, empath. You have to figure out whether to go north or south. You have to figure out who's telling lies out of their mouth, and you have to be able to do it with nobody around you but the streets, angels and ancestors that have your back. And if you can pass that, then you get past the massive attack and you move on to the spiritual contract, the Hierophant, where the angels and ancestors forever have your back and you are a student. The ghetto nun on here calls it Divine University, which is what she calls what we are in. And I love it. I love it. Go check her out, Ghetto Nun. She is from California. She is amazingly good and entertaining. This is what we move on to after we are no longer refraining from speaking up for ourselves, protecting ourselves, and having gone through the thing. When you know that no friends are in the industry, it is okay. It's a part of embracing your dark thoughts, embracing your shadow side. Not everybody is not going to be your friend. Excuse me, I love the labyrinth depicted here, but look at what's at his back. His own shadow. He's dealing with the shadow. Yes. Oh, thank you for the ebony compliments. We do love ebony women here too, but I love all the rainbow and all the colors, Peter. But what I will say here is that it's okay for us to be in our shadow. A moment like that, a decrease in someone's attention, loyalty, a decrease from this when you felt like you were having happy success to moving into a place of having to let go will put you into a new position of planning and action, my love. Planning and action in order to move into the next phase of your life. That's why the No Friends in the Industry, it feels just right. Without Miss Hannigan and her devilish succubus incubi and all her drugs and alcohol and lies, I would have never got to this place in my life. Jesus would not have ascended. There sometimes Mason is someone that comes in that is a catalyst with their betrayal and with their pain that puts us right into the next place in our life. A place that we could have never figured out how to get to within our own thoughts and in our own brain. It would have only ever been a labyrinth, something for us to try to figure out, something for us to wonder all about and not ever get through. But when you are pushed down the stairs or down the labyrinth by saboteurs and narcissists that never loved you, somehow you find your way completely through. It's okay that you have no friends in the industry, because what you do have is a tribe. What you do have is us. We connect and we vibe. You're there right now, Mason, literally pass my test like a boss. That's what I like to hear. Like a boss. Okay? I love to hear that. And that's the energy to me. I want us to encourage each other. When we get tested, you are not by yourself. You've got a friend. You've got a friend in me. So if I'm here and I'm on here, you can talk about what's going on. We can chat about it. We can go back and forth. But know this, I'm going to always make you stand up for yourself. I'm always going to have you follow your true north, literally your north node. And I want you guys to be empowered and know that our days of being bullied are fucking over. They're over. And I don't care how many people see this. I don't care if it's only 21 or 3 or 8, or I don't care if one day, because empaths, that's the magic we have of being great. It's 2008 or 20,008 that see this video. We are no longer standing here ready to take shit from anybody. Not manipulators, not gaslighters, not covert narcs, not overt narcs, not malignant narcissists, not our rapists, not our abusers, not our people that were our molesters, not the users, not the thieves. No friends in the industry. When we are yummy empaths, people always want to be friends with thee. You have to vet them, and that's a fact. Because if they can, they will try to stab you in the back. And only one Judas is need to get us to the next level before we learn fully how to protect and attack. That has been your message for tonight. It has been such a delight to spend some time with you. Remember to channel that Drake energy. Get up and do what you got to do. Brush your teeth, hop on that treadmill, go for your walk, make your coffee. But if you're in a spiritual battle, there are songs that you may overlook that are exactly for you. There's some language in there that you may not want to do, depending on who you are, but you can replace it for the words that matter. Your haters haven't been no kin to you, and that's a fact. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. I love the violet flames. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, it's so good to chat with you. I'm going to pop back on here. I'm going to get some water. I'm a bit parched, and we'll see what else comes up tonight. No Friends in the Industry was our first lesson, and I'll be back. I love all the interaction tonight. You guys take care. I will see you in a bit. Bye, Mason.